Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condemned the Bengal violence for a second time in 2 days. The Prime Minister sent out a clear message to the Trinamool Congress chief and her party men who seem to be making a habit out of defending violence. Listen in to the Prime Minister's tough talk and then I'll tell you what exactly transpired in West Bengal today.
राजनीतिक गतिविधियों में हिस्सा लेना हमारा लोकतांत्रिक अधिकार है, लेकिन राजनीतिक विरोध के कारण अगर किसी को हिंसा से डरा धमका कर कोई रोकता है तो वो दूसरों के अधिकारों का हनन है। इसलिए ये भी हमारा कर्तव्य है कि हिंसा, अराजकता की मानसिकता अगर समाज में कहीं भी है तो उसका विरोध किया जाए।
You heard the Prime Minister, ladies and gentlemen. His comment comes in response to a TMC party MLA threatening voters ahead of the by-polls in Asansol against voting for the BJP. MLA Naren Chakraborty was seen issuing open threats to the BJP voters and supporters, asking them not to come out and vote or else face the consequences. He later clarified, but the damage was already done. What's even more shocking is that a member of parliament of the party laughed off this threat by her party's MLA. She instead accused the BJP of raising petty and trivial issues. Listen in to Dola Sen.
हम ये बोलेंगे कि बीजेपी ये छोटा मोटा फालतू बात को सामने ना लाए तो ठीक रहेगा, क्योंकि हम सिर्फ एक ही रेफरेंस देंगे नारोदा केस का। आप देखे होंगे शुभेंदु अधिकारी का उसमें नाम था, उसका तस्वीर भी था, वीडियो में उसका भी तस्वीर था दूसरे और के साथ। लेकिन जब वो बीजेपी का अपोजिशन लीडर बनी और बीजेपी में ज्वाइन की और बंगाल में बीजेपी का अपोजिशन लीडर बनी, तब से उनका नाम चार्जशीट में काटा गया।
So the legitimate question on the NewsHour tonight that we are asking, is President's rule demand raised even by the Congress party valid in Bengal? That's the question and the debate. Bengal Dangal Dhamki. That's the hashtag and the debate coming up.
You're watching the NewsHour at 9. Debate number 2 on Times Now. Super Prime Time.
And joining Dr. Shambhit Patra is Ratan Sharda, author. And my first question goes to Sushmita Dev, Member of Parliament and National Spokesperson of the Trinamool Congress. Sushmita Dev, I want to ask you, is it absolutely normal for the Trinamool Congress to say on camera to BJP voters or any voters and intimidate them, don't come out, if you carry on your work and don't come out to work, we will not trouble you, you can carry out with your day-to-day life, but if you come out to vote, we will see you. And then Dola Sen says it's normal petty issues. I want to ask you, after Birbhum, 8 people burnt alive, matter by the court sent to the CBI, MLAs openly threatening, is this really what governance is all about in Bengal?
First of all, I want to question the video that you're showing, and you need to cross-check whether this was in this by-poll. This is an old video which has been denied by the party, number 1. Number 2, please understand what happened in Birbhum, which is, the entire nation is talking about it. The Chief Minister of Bengal is very clear. She does not condone such violence. In fact, she's the Home Minister of Bengal and she went there in person. And she took every step that is necessary. There's a big difference that the viewers of your channel need to make between state-sponsored and party-sponsored crime and something that happens which is unfortunate, what happened in Birbhum. So, to send out this narrative that all that Bengal does is violence and Trinamool Congress is behind it is, I think, heavily biased. And please understand, this is a chief minister who has been elected for the 3rd time, and there are not many chief ministers in India like that, by a popular mandate. To keep highlighting one incident and to ignore all the steps she's taken for good governance is unfair, I think. Let me put it on record and say it very clearly. What happened in Birbhum is very sad. It should have never happened. It's very, very unfortunate, and the Chief Minister is crystal clear that she is going to bring the people to justice who are behind it. She's arrested 22 people and suspended 4 officers for delay in taking action. This is not state sponsors, and Trinamool Congress does not, I repeat, does not support violence.
Dr. Sambit Patra, the video tweeted by the BJP is fake. It's from an earlier election. And even if the Trinamool Congress MLA said this, he said it earlier, not this time. So it's probably okay then, not okay now. So you can't question it.
See, Navika, she's absolutely right. I think we should call off the debate now and can go and sleep now, because Bengal is at the end of the day heaven on earth. And one of the best rulers that the world has ever seen is Mamata Banerjee. She's such a just lady. So what are we debating? We have had, just imagine 2018 Panchayat poll in Bengal. They were so swift. 100% nomination, everyone was coming out to vote. Look at all the elections there. There was no post-poll violence after the 2021 election. Bengal, no one died actually in Birbhum. Why are we debating all this? All this is fake. We need to check our videos. We need to check our news. But Navika, what really, defies any sensitivity is, today we had Dola Sen saying that छोटा मोटा बात पे आप लोग चले जाते हैं डिबेट करने के लिए, ऊपर कंप्लेंट करने के लिए. And remember, a couple of days ago, Mamata Banerjee on Birbhum had said, if someone sneezes, someone coughs, these BJP people go to the court, because we had gone to the court in Birbhum's case. We wanted a CBI investigation. So when 8 people die, rather they're charred to death, 6 women and 2 children, first beaten up, then locked inside a room and charred to death. That is equivalent to khaslo, that means sneeze and cough, as per Mamata Banerjee. And when in fact you have a lawmaker sitting in the coaching class, training class for the other MLAs and other Karyakartas of TMC, and whichever timeline, coming out and saying that just go and teach a lesson to the voters. Remember, his sermon was not for the BJP Karyakartas, it was for the voters. Any voter who feels like voting for Bharatiya Janata Party, just go and teach them a lesson, tell them that we all know where your address is, and after the election you would not even know what we'll do to you. And if you don't come out and vote for Bharatiya Janata Party, you can stay in West Bengal, you can practice your business, and you can do your job. And yet Bengal is heaven, and yet we should not talk about Mamata and Bengal, because Mamata ji is a 3 times chief minister. But these people can talk about Narendra Modi, despite the fact being that Narendra Modi is almost 20 years into elected politics, 20 years of chief ministership and prime ministership, yet they can call him Hitler, butcher, what not and what all. They can abuse him. But we have no right to talk about Mamata Banerjee.
Sushmita Dev.
You are right.
Sushmita Dev, respond. The question is very clear. Whether it's on the streets, whether it is during elections, whether it is inside the assembly, just look at what's going on. And Mamata Banerjee did make a statement. You know, every time there is a sneeze or a cough, people go to court. I want to ask you, 8 people die, and I don't know if you've seen the videos. I haven't had the guts to show them on television, but if you saw those videos, the way the dead bodies were being handled of children, charred to death, stiff, black, and the way they were being handled by the police personnel, repulsive. You know, you can't see it. You can just shut your eyes. Okay, and Sushmita, you're saying this is sneezing and coughing? As simple as that?
I never said it's sneezing and coughing. Just a second. First of all, Navika, the way you're conducting this debate, you're almost giving your viewers an impression that we are all right with what happened in Birbhum. The Chief Minister is on record condemning the violence. The Chief Minister is on record saying people who perpetuated this crime will not be spared. So please don't make it sound that Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, is saying that this is all right. She has never said it. And Dola Sen's comment comes from the breach of privilege motion that has been filed against her for what she said about the chairperson of Rajya Sabha. So do not connect the two things and mislead your viewers. Secondly, I would like to say that within 24 hours she went there. Today, Sambit Patra ji lecturing me on good governance is laughable, because in Uttar
Not
Pradesh,
24 hours.
when the Hathras incident
Past 48
happened, it was
hours.
state sponsored. The way, let me finish, Sambit, I did not interrupt you. Today, administration was absolutely instrumental and a part of the conspiracy to cremate the Hathras victim without the consent of the family. So, Mr. Patra, while he represents BJP, should not lecture me on good governance and cruelty. Yes, what happened in Birbhum is unfortunate. When we saw the visuals that came out of that, they were horrific. It cannot be condoned, and Mamata Banerjee as the Chief Minister and Home Minister of Bengal stands committed to ensure justice in this. So please, I'm happy to be cornered when an incident like this happens. Yes, we are accountable. Yes, we have to answer to what is happening there. But I do not need a lecture from the Bharatiya Janata Party, a Chief Minister who did nothing to take responsibility for the genocide that happened in Gujarat, the biggest genocide after the partition of India. I don't need a moral lecture from the BJP.
Mr. Ratan Sharda? Mr. Ratan Sharda,
Okay.
because the matter is with the CBI and because the Chief Minister of Bengal visited the site and she's condemned, it's all right. We can't ask questions. Is that okay?
Navika, thanks for inviting me. First of all,
I never said you can't ask questions. Don't misquote me, Navika. Don't put words in my mouth.
Okay, just respond to Sushmita ji.
Okay. See, when a party came to power condemning the violence of communists and then goes deep into the same communists, taking the entire state in the abyss of violence and abyss of anarchy, violent anarchy, you feel sad for the state itself. Was it the promise? It was promise of Mahamati Manush, and we know what is happening there right now. And let us not stick to Birbhum. Remember when the violence in pre and post violence after the state election, what was Mamata doing? What was the state government doing? What happened to women who were raped? What happened to people who were hanged on the trees? What happened to houses that were burned? Nothing. So finally people go to courts. And what does Mamata say? That we don't believe in courts. So a state chief minister discrediting the high courts, discrediting the police force, sitting on dharna for a police officer, this is not fiction. This happened actually. And what is the track record of Bengal for now so many years since they have come to power? They are totally living on violence. When you say that this tape is old, does it condone the violence? Do you say that there is time bar if somebody spoke about giving lecture to TMC workers that you must go and intimidate voters, tell them not to vote for you, if you don't vote for you, we will make your life miserable. Even if it is said 5 years back, does it become time bar? They are not saying it's fake. They are saying it's old. Has he negated it? Have Mamata said it's wrong? No, she very brazenly said about Birbhum that jukam hota hai, sardi hota hai, court mein jata hai. So let us not be so brazen. Let us not fight what is wrong. Let us not try to defend which is totally indefensible. A totally violent state under the presiding deity of TMC, a republic of TMC where no law runs, where police stations are manipulated, where police are manipulated,
Well,
and when you ultimately
all
go to
I can
court,
say
you
is
say judiciary is also
it's a sad day
Please ask
when the
her.
common
Please ask
people
her, why did
when the
Mamata
common
raise-
people have to suffer violence in the name of whatever, maybe political point scoring. I just want to say one thing. Sushmita ji, you compared Bengal and Uttar Pradesh. Yes, crimes can happen anywhere and governments can be seen to be right or wrong in taking decisions. It's a part of governance, and may each government set the right precedent for another one. But if you compare Uttar Pradesh to Bengal, then the question can also be asked that post-election violence happened in Bengal. It's a truth, it's a fact, the matters are in court. And there was a poll just recently held in Uttar Pradesh. Same chief minister repeated again through public mandate, just like Mamata Banerjee was. But there was no violence. There was nothing there. Why then is Uttar Pradesh different from Bengal? Is a question Maybe we can debate some other day. No moral lecture here, just a simple question. Thank you to you, all my panelists, and thank you, viewers, for joining me on the NewsHour Debate. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow.